It's time for the Tales of Midnight Christmas special, brought to you by Lucky Strike Cigarettes. And here's your host, Spooky Brucey.
I've made my list. I've checked it twice. I've found out who's naughty and who's nice. I've watched you when you're sleeping. I've known when you're awake. I know you've been more bad than good, so your soul is ours to take. It's too late to shout, too late to cry. You should have watched out, and I think you know why. But first, my guests are coming to town. That's right, my children of rot. I'm hosting a little Yuletide affair here at the old spook parlor, and I've invited the who's who of the naughty list. Come, all ye disgraceful, the joyless and repugnant. It's only fitting they spend their holiday here in Little Hope. After all, doesn't everyone deserve to be home for Christmas? Yes, I've dispatched my emissaries to every crypt, vault, and haunt known by the damned. My abhorrent comrades have been summoned forth, hailing from fact and fiction, time and space, for true evil knows no boundaries, especially when there's a party. After all, it is the best time of the year. Yes, I know they'll do my show, and that your end is near. We'll have a holly jolly Christmas, but try to be discreet. As I say hello to fiends I know, think of everyone you'll meet. Oh ho, the things I know hide where you can't see. They'll all wait for you, so come and follow me. We'll have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, you'll have a damn good jolly Christmas this year. Do you hear what I hear? Yes, it seems the festivities are well underway. So darken your rooms, and we shall commence.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
May.
May who?
May your wife and kids get raped in the ass.
Oh, come on, Eileen, darling. Come in, come in. And they say you should never pick up hitchhikers.
Who the is he talking to?
Allow me to introduce that Florida orange, one of my favorite lady friends, Miss Eileen Mornos, America's finest female serial killer.
Wait a minute. Let me say it. Shh.
I wasn't saying anything.
Shh. I was no professional serial killer or anything. I wasn't special at what I did. I did some sloppy work.
I was only complimenting.
Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. I lost my life because of it. Couldn't even get a fair trial. You sabotaged my society and the cops and the system. A great woman who could have been an archaeologist got executed and was used to sell books and movies and TV and
Oh, Eileen, I was just...
I'm just kidding. We're a bunch of inhumane living bastards and we're all gonna get nuked. I killed those 7 men in first-degree murder and robbery. Not so much like a thrill kill. I was more the robbing biz. Speaking of which, I got you something. Lucky number 8.
Oh, Eileen, you really shouldn't have.
I needed some wheels to get here, and this in the trunk. Look at it. You got some great stuff here. You got an etch-sketch, a turkey. Holy turkey. I'm gonna keep this stuff, and you can have this.
Thank you, Eileen. I'm sure we'll find something to do with it. Eileen, these things look like someone's Christmas shopping. Was this a John, or did you just kill some innocent person?
Look, Spooky. You don't ask how the tilt-a-whirl spins. You don't ask how the beanies and weenies end up together. And you don't ask Maury how he knows who the dad is. Because some things are just miracles. Christmas miracles.
Well, Eileen, I consider this something of an educational program. Why don't you share some facts you know with the viewers at home?
Educational? I thought this was going to be one of those Girls Gone Wild jobs.
No, Hades, no. Eileen, don't panic. Don't panic. Just go with what you know.
Just go with what you know. Just go with what you know.
Go with what you know. Eileen.
I got it. Here are some do's and don'ts for holiday travel. Right. Step 1, or as the Mexicans say, numero puta. Say it's Christmas. We all got places to be. Chinese buffets, roofing jobs, cockfights. So what do? Sure as don't take the bus. That's the best way to meet and weirdos. What to do?
For God's sake.
First, make sure you look good. I recommend some flannel, maybe an airbrush t-shirt, but I forgot mine, and a little hair gel. LA Looks is my fave. And then make your way to a truck stop. These trucker guys are all hopped up on caffeine pills and Hardee's and jazz, so it's pretty easy to bait them into doing what you want.
Eileen, there may be children watching.
Kids? Who lets kids watch this? If I had any of the kids I carried a full term, I sure as wouldn't let them watch this show.
Well then.
It's just not good for kids. It's not good. If your children are watching this program, please stop. Think for a second. And punch yourself in the face so I don't have a chance to shoot you later. So like I said, you're going to want to size these guys up. Make sure they're not a Dahmer or a Gacy. Those guys were gross mother.
Or BTK. Or Richard Ramirez. Or even Bundy.
Well, I didn't want to say anything with the cameras around because I know how people talk. I'm looking at you, cameraman. Yeah, you like talking? Huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Ted and I have been talking.
I didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dead now, so I don't get out as often as I used to. So I thought I'd try Christian Mingle.
No. Really?
And I saw this guy work for a suicide hotline, drives a Volkswagen.
Did you bring him with you?
No, but I better be getting back to the party. I just strapped on some beer goggles, and everyone is looking sexy as Tom mother Atkins. I don't know if I'm seeing double at this point, but there is a dude here with 6 arms that I'm going to try to score with.
No, you can still hold your alcohol. That's Kali, the Hindu goddess of destruction.
Hey, even better, I'm going to give her what I like to call my lethal injection.
But Eileen, I thought that you and Ted were a thing now.
There's enough of me to go around. Besides, we've got an open relationship. He's been hooking up with Zac Efron.
Well, have a good time, Eileen.
I am the good time.
Oh, Eileen.
Oh my, I've seen better shootouts in the Ninth Ward.
Baron, old boy. Allow me to introduce the original big bad voodoo daddy, that master of obscenity, my favorite of the Loire, Baron Samedi, the voodoo god of death.
Spooky Brucey, my little voodoo doll, full of pins and pokes. Ain't you a sight for sore eyes? Look at you, sweeter than praline. How's my little Benny?
Oh, Baron, if I had a pulse, I'd...
If you had a pulse, I don't recollect my trusty shovel digging your spiritual grave.
Well, I'm sure you don't, Baron. As I'm sure you've also forgotten that I won that poker game fair and square.
I done dug you up, didn't I? The grass hardly had a chance to grow. After I talked with the missus, I listened to reason. Besides, you look better now than ever.
You know I never could stay mad at you. You're like an uncle to me.
Oh, I'm like an uncle to everybody. Unless, of course, they're the female persuasion. Then we're more kissing cousins. Now that the bad blood between us has been shed, Joyeux Noël, Monsieur Spooky.
And a Merry Christmas to you too, Baron. I'm sure the folks at home are surprised you celebrate the holiday.
I should say so. The only country to recognize my faith system officially is Haiti. And in Haiti, it's often said that people are 90% Catholic, but 100% voodoo. The two dance together. Within voodoo principles, there are three groups of spirits. My house is the Getty, where I am king. The Getty represents death and more, shall we say, carnal desires. And then there is the ancient, wrought-eyed, good-natured, benevolent spirits. And lastly, there's the petro, powerful fire spirits born from slave trade. They're more explosive and not nearly as understanding. Those two represent the living facets of man, a great balance that must exist to sustain life. And with these principles in mind, there is both Papa Noel and, as you folks say, Santa Claus. And in the flip side, named Papa Fouette. Fouette was born from the French tradition of Pierre Fouettard. Fouettard, when human, was a butcher who captured and ate rich children to steal their money and sell their meat. Santa discovered his sin, resurrecting the little ones and enslaving dirty old Pierre Fouettard. Although Pierre now works for the fat man, he still despises little boys and girls carrying a little stick to beat and spoil rotten and cold leaves as gifts. I'm introducing it to you later.
Wonderful. Tell me, are there any voodoo rituals to be had specifically on the holiday?
Of course, mon petit, yeah. We will call Christmas baths these cleansing rituals, using the white magic of the holiday to clear away the negative energies. The process generally begins the 24th and ends the 26th. The ingredients of the bath varies contingent upon your congregation, and certainly wouldn't be my place to divulge their secrets. Oh, who am I kidding? We'll talk later, Mama D.
Of course, Baron.
Meanwhile, I'd better get back to your party. The joint is jumping, I got my eye on it, and she doesn't follow through. I got Lilith on speed dial. Let's just hope Dionysus brought the good stuff.
I'll be seeing you on New Year's Eve for Evian.
Oh, excuse me, Baron. Mr. Spooky, are you in here? Oh,
Yuletide greetings, Dr. Seltsam.
Frohe Weihnachten and ein glückliches neues Jahr.
I trust that you're having a swell time.
Oh yeah, I haven't had this much fun since Tesla's ghost and I got drunk and discovered the ultraviolet nuclear death ray. Those Berliners never knew what hit them. That will teach those Nazi
How much have you had to drink, Dr. Seltzer?
Well, given there is one more bottle of peppermint schnapps in the banquet hall, my humble scientific hypothesis is not enough. You could say it is just what the doctor ordered.
I'm just glad to see you're enjoying yourself. So, I don't know how to ask, but did you bring the missus with you?
Oh, no. Gerda is in no shape for dancing. I haven't had the time to rewire her knees, and her new wax coat needed time to seal.
Oh, what a pity. Perhaps another time.
Oh, she asked me not to tell anyone, but the truth be known, I think, after much trying, that Gerda may be in the family way.
No. Not on Christmas.
Well, aren't you going to say it?
Congratulations, Dr. Seltzer.
Thank you. Now I must inform my colleagues that are here that we have done the impossible. They will be so surprised.
Oh, I'm sure if they woke up tomorrow morning with their heads sewn to the carpet, they wouldn't be more surprised than when you tell them.
The only babies I have been good with have been in glass jars, so hopefully with any luck Dr. Saperstein will agree to be our obstetrician before he leaves. Or Dr. Monroe, or Dr. Fibes, or Dr. Pretorius, or Dr. Strange.
Perhaps now I can continue with my stories. Let's get back to that awful man in the bright red suit, with his sleigh all full of loot.
Sounds greedy. You think I'd like that fat bastard more?
If it isn't the father of lies, that son of perdition, the unholy ghost himself,
South Sudan.
Beelzebub.
I don't care what you have to do, get them nukes. You know newcomers.
I'm surprised to see you enjoying yourself.
I have more important people to chat with. Look, I gotta run. Forgive me. First time I've ever said that. And no, quite the contrary. I always enjoy touring the riot scene, admiring my handiwork. Speaking of which, have you reconsidered getting your contract?
A tempting offer, old friend. But you know that I am an independent contractor. My schemes are my own. In short, I answer to no one.
Stubborn as ever, I see. One of the few wise enough to read the fine print. No bother. Ultimately, our goals are fairly similar. I will content myself with you being a colleague. For now.
What provoked you to celebrate your finest adversary's birthday?
I have no qualms with the boy. Should a son be made to suffer the sins of his father?
Is that a rhetorical question?
In the 40 days and 40 nights I spent with the child, I realized he wasn't so insufferable. Bad for business, but not entirely without merit. A harmless hippie. No, let him have his day. This conceited old man that I enjoy vexing. That ultimate case Munchausen syndrome by proxy. If I stir the infernal pot on his kid's birthday, it's only because I know he'll take notice.
I find it hard to see whatever malice you've hidden in the holiday.
Spooky. You of all people have an eye for ridicule. Why not look a bit closer?
Are you referring to Christmas suicide?
No, that is a common misconception. A fault in my own strategy. Though I hate admitting it, I thought people spending more time with family this time of year would surely tip them towards self-destruction. But no such luck. It does the opposite. It's not to say they won't happen, and they're and just postponed as the suicide rates lead back up in January.
Then tell us, where is your agenda slithering?
Slither. I get it. You turn into a snake once, you can't live it down for centuries. Well, they're always my more dramatic pieces, created for the holiday.
Go on.
Consider, if you will, the disappearance of the Sodder children on Christmas Eve in 1945. No one would have expected calamity to strike on such a holiday, especially the small-town bumpkins in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family stayed up later than usual that evening, as to allow their children to play with their new toys, blissfully unaware of what the horrors the evening would bring. Their mother, Jenny Sodder, went to bed, tasking the two eldest boys to watch after the others. Around 12:30, she was startled awake by the phone ringing. The house was silent, all but for the telephone, assuming the children went to bed. Upon lifting the receiver, Jenny spoke to a strange-voiced woman who was asking for a name she didn't know. After Jenny explained to the woman that who she asked for didn't live there, the woman responded only by cackling maniacally before abruptly hanging up. Jenny went back to bed, but was woke later by a strange thumping sound, which Jenny later assumed was a Molotov cocktail. The home went up in smoke, and only 6 of the 11 family members allegedly escaped. The family's efforts to rescue the 5 children that were assumed to be trapped inside were oddly thwarted. The phones didn't work when only hours before they had. Their trucks wouldn't start, and their ladder was missing, leaving them to watch in agony for 45 minutes as the house collapsed in flames. Fire marshals said the telephone lines were burned through by fire. The trucks were simply in disrepair, and that sadly the 5 children must have burnt to ash in the blaze. The source of the tragedy was said to be a short in electrical wire. As the family tried to put their lives back together, they began to question this conclusion and did investigating of their own. The telephone repairman said the phone lines were cut clean, meaning they were obviously tampered with. Jenny contacted a crematorium who explained that a body is only reduced to ash after 2+ hours and 2,000-degree temperatures. Much longer, much hotter than the fire that consumed their home. If electrical lines were the culprit, then why were Christmas lights still twinkling as they fled their home? After snow melted, a small green rubber ball was found in the family's yard, which later was determined to be a pineapple bomb used in combat. Eyewitnesses even claimed to see a strange woman watching from the roadside, with 5 children in the back seat of her car. 5 children who bore a strange resemblance to the Sodder children. Years went by. In 1967, strange letters began arriving at their doorstep. These letters alleged the children were alive. With the aid of private detectives, they attempted to trace the letters to no avail, leaving Jenny an eccentric recluse who was only seen dressed in black, tending a garden near the burnt remains of their family home. In 1929, wealthy tobacco farmer Charlie Lawson took his wife and 7 children Christmas shopping in Germantown, North Carolina. As the family selected gifts for one another, Charlie, feeling especially festive, decided a family portrait should be taken. It would be their last. On December 25th, Charlie sent his eldest son Arthur on an errand. After he left, Charlie proceeded to obliterate each member of his family with a shotgun. Arthur discovered the bloodbath upon returning home, finding his only mother, his sisters, and brothers laid out on the floor with their arms folded over their chests. After authorities had arrived and the investigation was underway, a shot was heard in the woods near the family's home. Charlie had been watching as they arrived and decided to take his own life. Arthur lived to have a family of his own and died at 32 in an auto crash. Let's see. Oh, there's the Covina massacre. Some of my finest work. In 2008, Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, clad in Santa suit, went to visit his ex-wife and former in-laws on Christmas Eve, only he wasn't invited. When they opened the door, Santa with his gift-wrapped flamethrower began to kill without mercy. In all, he took the lives of 9 people, his ex-wife, her son, her parents, and even her siblings. and why as recently as February in 2018, serial killer Bruce MacArthur was busted. He had been prowling Toronto's gay village, picking up 8 men for kinky sex, and once tied for what his victims believed was consensual bondage, he'd brutalize his victims. But not to worry, even with those 2 Bruces, you're still my favorite.
Oh gee, thanks. But what in the hell does MacArthur have to do with Christmas?
Oh, didn't I mention? He was a department store Santa. Countless children across Ontario have pictures with a depraved serial killer. With Canada abolishing the death penalty, I don't think I'll be seeing him anytime soon. What a pity. Aren't you coming to the party? After all, you are the host.
Yes, I'm just, wrapping up with the kiddies.
Don't take too long. I can only avoid Crowley and Rasputin for so long. You know how awful groupies can be.
As we wrap up this affair, I find it only fitting we discuss a few Christmas creatures often overlooked in favor of friendlier fare, like Frosty and Rudolph. There's the, Icelandic Yule Cat, a gigantic leopard that prowls the snowy hillside, waiting to devour lazy children. Said to be the pet of an equally horrible ogress named Gryla, who chews the bones of ungrateful, greedy children. There's Austria's Frau Perkta, a shape-shifting witch granted permission to disembowel the wicked during the 12 days of Christmas. She was also said to reward those who obeyed her every command with material wealth and magic silver coins, leading to her having a cult all her own until 1468, when Bavaria banned her worship. Whatever form she may take, whether it be beautiful woman, a gnarled crone, or a wild animal, she can still be spotted, as one foot always remains webbed. Even if you should escape Frau Perkta, you may be torn apart by her demonic henchmen. She has named the Straggly. They followed their master, devouring the offerings left to her that she deems unfit, proceeding to murder those who dare displease their goddess. There are kinder witches who enjoy the holiday, like Italy's La Bafina, who rides her broom through the wintry air to deliver good boys and girls treats and cookies. Hans Trapp was excommunicated by the Catholic Church for being a robber baron, devil worshipper, and alleged cannibal. For his sins, he was exiled away to the forest. There he donned a disguise, that of a scarecrow, waiting for unwitting passers-by. God himself struck old Hans dead, and every year at Christmas he is said to rise from his grave, still clad in his costume, to feed on bad little boys and girls. The most dreaded of all, however, arrives every 5th of December in Eastern Europe. This night is Krampusnacht, named in honor of Santa's horned accomplice, Krampus. He snatches up the wicked, stuffing them in the basket flung across his back. These souls he spirits away to his snowy hell. Krampus! Come in, you rotten bastard. I know, but it's Christmas here. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed our little Christmas special. For tomorrow, you could be our next show subject of interest. Our, ghost of Christmas future. Only time and Krampus can say for certain. Krampus, old friend, I'll leave you to it. Wait. And as always, kiddies, remember me as you scroll by. If you like our show, then please subscribe, as we are now. So you must be prepared for death and follow him. Come on, Eileen, come here.
Spooky, you beautiful b****. The only I ever met at a truck stop at 3 a.m. that didn't want to me or beat me.
Oh, Eileen.
Love you, man.
Darling.
I love you. Oh, God.
Okay, all right.
Just let